Most think they're at level 3. Most are actually at level 1. And so by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand and what the next step looks like. Level 0 is process blindness. This is a stage where you really have little idea formally over what your business processes look like, right? Everything kind of lives in your head. If someone asks you to write down, how you do things like onboarding clients, right? You kind of sit there and stare at a blank page. If it's something that you haven't done that many times before, and it's not because you're lazy, right? You're just blind to the process. You've never been taught to see your own operations. And as a result of that, you might be struggling to take time off or step away from the business or organization that relies on you. The next level is a process awareness, where you can kind of describe what to do, but you're still the bottleneck, right? You're not able to hand it off to anyone because when you've tried to delegate, you run into failures. Not because you have a problem with your team, right? You might have actually got good people, but you feel like it's faster if you just kind of take care of things yourself, right? Level 2 is when you get to the place where you have some level of process documentation. Maybe you have some SOPs or protocols that you can follow, right? The knowledge of how to do things doesn't go away when you go on vacation. And that's kind of where things stop for a lot of people, right? You've gotten organized, maybe you've written things down, you have the ability to delegate to some extent, but you don't really have good measurements in place around those how-tos and what defines good. So that brings you to the next level, which is optimization, right? Getting to the point where you're measuring cycle time and error rates, right? You're tracking your throughput so that a bottleneck is no longer a gut feeling, it's more like something where you can look at it and feel it tangibly in numbers, right? Not random things strewn throughout Google Drive and Notion, but something that really lives in a quantitative place in your organization. And the next level beyond that is true process intelligence, right? At the point where you can predict and simulate changes before implementing them. Right, where you have the ability to use data continuously for improvement, not just as a one-off campaign, but something that happens on an ongoing basis within your organization. So you have some software and things that charge six-figure contracts to do that work, but what we want to do here, and what you need to know about my channel, is that we get the easy, simple ways to bring these things into practice. I actually have some, pretty accessible guides for how to break into this space that you can check out, and take a look at the other videos on my channel to get a sense of how we can make a dent in our organizations, whether we're business owners, employees, or just anyone trying to make the world a better place in an organized and collaborative fashion.